It's Saturday, so the new year has been on us now for a week, and which means we've been back to dietary normalcy. Or if you're starting a new diet and you joined us on the carnivore diet, or you're watching this as someone who follows keto, you'll understand what I say that the Christmas season is finally behind us, which means we're back to trying to fix things that may have gone wrong. And I thought I'd give you my Christmas report, at least sort of an abbreviated version of it. So last summer, towards the end of summer, I weirdly managed to hit my initial weight loss goal that I had set back in 2020. I'd lost 150 pounds, and I could tell I still needed to lose some more, but I was so worn out of tracking and all the rest of it that I decided to do a what I would consider a lazy but otherwise reasonably strict carnivore diet at that point. I'd been carnivore for a while, but I stopped tracking. I'm a believer in tracking. I know that I have to restrict how much I eat to lose excess body fat. Some people claim that they can do it by eating until they're stuffed, but growing numbers of carnivores are saying that just doesn't work for them. I'm one of them it didn't work for, so I had to restrict. And I will, as I get back into this, maybe in the coming week, I will do a video showing you my macros and what I do also for my workout routine. You're not going to see exercise video or anything from me, but I'll describe my workout routine because I'm entering a hard, like, burn off excess body fat phase. And I'm trying to get back to where I was in the summer, and I hit that all-time low, and then get past it. I want to actually get to under 20% body fat, and I want to do it by summer. So this is going to be a fairly austere way I'm doing things. But I got tired in the fall of tracking. I needed a break. And carnivore is easy to stay on. You just eat the meat, eat mostly ruminant meat, a little bit of butter, some salt, a cup of coffee maybe if you want it, if you're okay with coffee, if you don't have adverse reactions to it, and everything is fine. Well, I stay away from dairy most of the time. In fact, all of the year I stayed away from dairy until Thanksgiving Day. And on Thanksgiving Day, I had a small amount of cheese, and my wife made a keto Thanksgiving dessert, and it was a cheesecake. I had a piece of that. It was delicious, but it wasn't super sweet. She used like a monk fruit extract sweetener. I couldn't tell at all that it was sweetened. But the cheese was amazing. The cream cheese in it was delightful. And I think that's where it began because I found myself during the month of December having a little bit of cheese here and there, not much, but it was slowly escalated, and it did so slowly enough that I didn't really realize until one morning I decided to cut my coffee with heavy whipping cream. And this was made worse by a coffee shop that opened in my area. I'm originally from the West Coast, from the Portland, Oregon region originally. And there's a coffee company chain out there that suddenly showed up here in central Oklahoma, much to my surprise. And I was thrilled to see them, even though I don't like corporate things much. I make an exception for them. Their coffee is fantastic. It's Dutch Brothers Coffee. If you're familiar with them, I love their coffee. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go in, and it's Christmas. I'm going to, I'll have a sugar-free coffee. Well, that wasn't a good idea. The sugar-free stuff made things a hell for the remainder of Christmas. But the dairy I consumed, it became a daily thing where it was cheese and heavy whipping cream. So I got on the scale and I gained like 20 pounds over the course of Christmas. It was shocking, horrifying. So I need to lose the weight. It needs to come off. And so here's what I'm doing. I am, as of the day I'm recording this, you're seeing this several days after I've recorded this, and so in the comments I'll try to let you know how good I've dealt with as temptations go. The videos you've seen this week on my channel, a lot of those were inspired by what I knew I was going to be dealing with as I, get back to an austere carnivore diet to burn off this excess body fat. But what I'm going to be doing is having a strategy of focusing more on leaner ruminant meats, a little bit of fat when I need it, but otherwise I have some macro goals that I'm going to be fine-tuning before I report to you on them, what they are formally. And I will still drink coffee, but it's going to be black. I will be adding no dairy to anything at all. There'll be no more cheese. It's gone. There'll be no more heavy whipping cream. It's gone. I will be keeping away from butter unless I see like I'm having a day where I've eaten some really lean red meat and I'm just way too low on fat, then I'll add some butter. But otherwise, I'm staying away from that stuff. And I'm going to even try to keep the bacon at a distance Don't really need it as much as I love it and as much as you love it. Time to buckle down and get that that Christmas weight gain off. Now, the this is it's one of those weird things, right? Because I didn't expect that. I mean, I could tell, in the face, I could see it. When you're editing videos every day, you can see it more than someone who might be a casual viewer. But I could tell, like, clothes not fitting properly. Weirdly, at the gym, I didn't notice it, but I also had a stomach ailment during Christmas a couple of times, where something I ate caused me to have to run to the bathroom a lot, and it wasn't the dairy. It was what they call the norovirus, which is just basically food poisoning. I was dealing with that, and I think I also overcompensated by trying to going, well, the body's not keeping this food in it for very long, so I need to eat more to make up for it, which is a terrible idea, by the way. So yeah, there's that. I think that also didn't help, but there's just something about the holiday season, Christmas and Thanksgiving to Christmas, and for me it's worse because my birthday is at the end of January, and historically I've always been like, well, for me the holidays last Halloween to my birthday, and yeah, that's a third of the year, folks. To never get into that mindset, but it's breaking old mental habits. And so my head, I get on the scale, see my weight was a lot higher than I was projecting, because I had in my head going, okay, it's probably gonna be in this ballpark. It was beyond that. You got to get yourself into the headspace for losing the weight. If you want to lose the weight, you have to get in the headspace and be logical about it and be dedicated to it. And this is why at the gym I'm changing some of my things that I do. I will still be doing my lifts, but right now I have I have 2 heavy days a week plus a leg day, and then I have 2 higher volume, lower weight days. And on those higher volume, lower weight days, I'm going to reduce the number of exercises I do, so I have more time to do cardio at the end. And I am not a believer in cardio most of the time, but it is very efficient for burning body fat. I'm going to do short amounts of cardio on my heavy days at the end, and I might even come in an extra day a week to do some cardio. This is austere. This is meant to be austere, and it's also meant to be temporary. My hope is that I can report back by March 1st that I've lost all the Christmas weight. It's all gone, and then I'm well past it. And it'll be, that I'm actually making headway into the weight that I was wanting to lose back in the summer when I finally took a break. Part of that, I think, is that, dairy is really part of the crux of the problem here, as well as maybe hidden carbs and things, or insulin responses from artificial sweeteners from the coffee I got at Dutch Brothers, because it wasn't the only one, right? It was delicious, and I'm getting more than one. Part of it is that it's, water weight. I will not know the day you see this, because I'm recording this on Monday. I'm going to weigh in on Monday, so it'll be Saturday. But there will be signs that the water weight's coming up, and that's going to the bathroom a lot. If you're peeing a lot early in a low carb to zero carb diet, you're shedding water weight, which is good. That is a good sign. But I expect initially a lot of it to come off anyway, simply because when I started carnivore, I was still drinking diet sodas my first month and energy drinks. So it's stuff that none of us really would drink now. Coke Zero, right? Okay. In a bind, if you really need caffeine for whatever reason, like I had a thing right around Thanksgiving where I absolutely had to have some caffeine, and so I had a diet soda. It did the job, but it was annoying. It triggered all sorts of weird cravings I hadn't had in a year. I did a video about that if you want to see it. But for me, I expect the weight to come off quickly, because dairy has a purpose biologically. Animals produce milk to feed their young so that they grow and pack on weight quickly. And while the pasteurization process or the production process for cheese can cut down on a lot of the lactose and galactose and other things that cause weight gain, it doesn't get rid of all of it. A lot of people don't lose the weight they need to, or they're expecting to, on carnivore because they're eating cheese. And as soon as they remove the cheese or the heavy whipping cream or whatever it is, and I haven't looked to see relative amounts of what galactose and lactose are in like heavy whipping cream versus cheese, I would expect the heavy whipping cream to be a lot higher levels of it. But once you get rid of that people get rid of that stuff, they report that the weight starts coming off. My first month, when I was having those energy drinks and diet sodas and all that junk, I lost like 14 pounds that first week. And I'd been keto for over a year at that point. So 14 pounds in a week was a lot at that stage. But it's because I eliminated the dairy. no complaints there. I'm hoping I'll see something similar. That most of the weight that I gained hopefully will be off by the end of January, and that I'll be, headed towards March 1st, essentially, back close to where I was in the summer, and making headway back to my final goal, which is to be under 20% body fat. And if you've been watching me for a while, my channel started in May of last year. And if you've been watching me a while, you know that's been my goal, is to get under 20% body fat as an adult man in his early mid 40s. That's not an unreasonable goal. That's my goal. So that's my after Christmas action report. What did happen to you during Christmas? Because I noticed one of the things I did notice during the Christmas season is views not only on my carnivore channel, but most other carnivore channels kind of went down a lot. And I'm not surprised. Who wants to be reminded of nutrition and health, while you're being tempted to eat fudge? So what happened to you during Christmas? Did you lose the weight you needed to? Did you actually keep losing weight? Were you good and stayed on program mostly? Did you just cheat a little bit by adding dairy, and then found yourself spiraling because of that? Did you just say, doesn't matter, and started just digging into Chinese food and pizza and things? Let me know in the comments. No judgments from me on that. You're human. It's a new year. Let's get it. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help us. Just sharing this on social media, that helps a lot too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. It's 2023. Let's get this, folks.